Great, Nakul. I mean, I was thinking, but I haven't got a written speech like yours. I am just going to I made some notes whilst Narayan Murthy was speaking and whilst you were speaking and whilst Raghu was speaking. But the trouble with me is that I'm coming in at a time of lunch when everybody is very eager to get down to eating. And therefore, I have decided that from my experience, I will just put a few points which may provoke people to ask some questions. Look, I mean, being a Punjabi, don't expect any thought-provoking speech from me, because as a Punjabi, we are known for action. My mother was a Sardarni, my father was a Hindu Punjabi, and therefore, don't expect any thought-provoking speech. You leave a Punjabi with a thought, and when you meet him the next time, he'll say, "Sir, you left something behind, please take it away." And being born and brought up in Calcutta, I thought I'll add a little bit of humor. You leave a Bengali with a thought, and he'll make a philosophy out of it. But that apart, what I am going to say on this is that, look, for me, the most important from the Indian point of view is demand creation. And therefore, very little has been done by the government or by most companies other than offering large discounts on either like Amazon and everything else to get people to buy. And I don't think it's sustainable, because many hotels have also, like what Nakul has mentioned, have reduced their rates to maybe 8,000 or 9,000 or 10,000 in the hope that people will come in. But this cannot be sustainable. You will have to get back very soon into charging the kind of rates that you charged earlier. And therefore, I am going to say that there is no such thing as the new normal. Most people are fed up of this term that I speak with, and they want to go back to the old normal. The new normal, which we are referring to, might be there for another 2 years. But the urge of people to go back to what they were used to is very, very sustainable. Now, look, apart from a couple of areas like hygiene, which will bring about a change, or information technology where you can work from home, everybody else is itching to get out of the house and get back to work. The only thing that they might bring about is flexible hours of working and not work from home constantly, other than a couple of R&D people who can work from home, women who are expecting can work from home, IT can work from home, but the bulk of FMCG and everybody else wants to meet people. And therefore, I turn around and say there's no such thing as the new normal, which will be sustained. It's the old normal. And that is where people will be heading after 2 years. And we must prepare ourselves, barring a few industries. And I also find, as Noah Harari has said, that from the Indian point of view, is artificial intelligence and IT moving too fast? I will tell you why. Because are we creating a class of people that are going to be useless, totally useless in other coming years? Because IT and all the big companies are looking at reducing costs, replacing it with artificial intelligence, and then getting more and more people out of work rather than at work. And in India, where you have a large population, employment is going to be very, very important. Otherwise, you are heading for a revolution, regardless of whatever the new normal is or the new abnormal is. And therefore, we must worry about how do we create more employment rather than less. And that is very, very important, because you have to learn to simplify issues and speak a language that people can understand. And I'm not talking about necessarily all the intellectuals that are attending this conference and everything else. You must learn to simplificate rather than complicate. Because if you complicate life and you lose your sense of humor, you are heading for a big, big problem, especially in countries like India and China, because we have a huge population which is growing. You have Europe and America, where the population is declining and the older lot are becoming more and more there. And it's the younger lot which are not there. And therefore, they are going to rely on China and India to move forward. And therefore, that's what's important for us. And remember that the new generation is coming with no baggage at all. You know, I was traveling to a small village before COVID in Tamil Nadu, And I was asking people who were youngsters, 20 years old, 21 years old, because they are the future. I said, if you got 1 lakh of rupees in a village, and that's it, it's not going to be recurring. You just won a lottery for 1 lakh. What would you spend it on? And the top 3 things which came out, and a lot of you can also think about it, was a telephone. Why a mobile phone? Because they were not looking for an Apple or anything else. Most of us seem to be addressing our issues to the rich, to the upper middle. I just want a phone which I can provide an SMS, I can talk to the other person, that's enough for me to come. And therefore, it is important for people like Micromax and all, which came in many years ago. And I'm talking to the owner saying, look, what he saw as an issue maybe 10, 15 years ago was people going to the toilet in the evening or at night and carrying a lantern in one hand in the villages and the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. And so what he did was that in his phone, he put a torch. He said, look, you don't have to carry a big lantern in your hand, carry your torch. And that's what Micromax became. Now, the problem is that he has to now again look for opportunities in India and move forward on that. And therefore, that's very, very important. The second thing they wanted was a television set. Why did they want a television set? Was for sheer entertainment. Let me tell you, India is not going to become a rich or even a medium rich country in the next 6 to 7 years. The bulk of the population is going to be poor, and therefore you have to worry about them as to how are you going to give them everything that is there and that is necessary. And that's what for me is the most important. The third thing they said, believe it or not, and these were across men and women, all youngsters, and they said, we want to buy a pair of jeans. And everything was rationalized and reasonable, and there was a reason. They said, I want to buy a pair of jeans, not a Levi's, not a YSL, not anything on top. They wanted to buy jeans at 500 rupees. And I think there was a company at that time called Cable Jeans or something. And he put in right at 500 rupees because they said, I don't have to wash it. I can wear it and I can be trendy. Understand where the new consumer is going. I mean, and I don't mean for Johnson & Johnson or for Nakul because all your hotels are geared at a certain level. I'm talking at a national level, and that is very, very important for people to start looking at. Therefore, how do you sustain the growth that has happened in the last 2 to 3 months? Because you have given huge discounts. Demand has gone up because there was a pent-up demand. Festival season, yes. Biscuits have been growing right in the beginning because people wanted a hygienic product. And therefore, they grew. Certain soaps, certain deodorants have grown. But that's for a specific reason. Right now, the oil in the engine is what is going to be provided by the 300 million middle class, which is the lower middle and the middle class, because very little is done for them to incentivize them to spend. And if there is no spending, then let me tell you, all the efforts being made is going to come to zero because no industry will want to produce unless there is a demand. And therefore, just giving loans on the supply side is okay. It is necessary, but a balancing of the demand side is what I have been fighting for with the government. And hopefully, you have to take care of the poor first. They've taken care of the poor. You have to take care of agriculture because that is what the country wants. And now the middle income group feels left out in all this. Why are they going to spend? Apart from trust, what Nakul has raised, apart from the point that Johnson & Johnson has said about what Raghav has said about how to build a new structure. Look, all that is going to collapse if there is very little demand, especially in India. And that is the same for the world. Look, technology is moving at a pace where I agree with Noah. And if you create a whole class of people, so therefore maybe technology works in the West, but you have to tailor your business to us. And that's very, very important, what we need to do for India, which is first. And therefore, maybe providing some food which they can order on email at low cost, making hotels which are available at 500 and 1,000. I'm just thinking out of the box right now. And you have to take care of what gives you your bread and butter. But the future will lie in India, which is where you deal with people. And I remember, look, we have to start thinking totally afresh. I started with nothing in my life, and as somebody said, I still have most of it. That should be the motto. Look, people, their wives, the family, what have I learned in this COVID thing is that, look, family is to come first. Work is okay. Money is okay. You have to earn it to get certain basic points across. But how do you get people to respect family, to love family, and to get into the fact that, look, health is more important than wealth, and that becomes most important for us. You know, Arsene Wenger, now that I'm talking to Calcutta people, they love football. He was the coach for Arsenal, and he has come up with saying, forwards love to win because they have to score goals. The defenders hate to lose because they have to defend a goal. Maybe that will be the motto for the future. Nobody wants to get into the game and say, I was in the game because of sportsmanship. That only the losers say. The winners have to start, the forwards will have to move forward, and the defenders will have to defend. And therefore, we will have to strike a balance, is what I would suggest to all. And that is the most important thing that I have written down. And above all this, never lose your sense of humor. I've gone through major ups and downs in my life. And as individuals and as small people and as the poor lot, look, you will go through a lot of trouble, a lot of hassles. Never lose a sense of humor. There are people who are working for you. The government is working for, and I'm sure the post-COVID thing will be how to sustain a demand that is lying idle. And that's what I would like to ask, and maybe some